Welcome to Sundays with Sandy, a new segment on Last First Date Radio where we believe it is never too late to go on your last first date. I'm your host, Sandy Weiner. I'm a dating and relationship coach, a communications and boundaries expert, and I want you to go on your last first date. I'm going to share what an ultimatum is, why people think they're a good idea, and a more effective strategy for getting what you want in your relationship. An ultimatum is a demand for somebody to change a behavior. And what do you feel like when somebody makes a demand? Pretty bad, right? Demands, they don't work. If you're trying to force somebody to decide on something against their will, it's a recipe for pushing people away. And that's the opposite of what you're trying to accomplish with an ultimatum. If you push hard enough, your partner might agree to what you're asking for. But over time, resentment is going to build, and that's usually what leads to the end of a relationship. Some examples of ultimatums. Number 1, if you don't propose, I'm going to break up with you. Number 2, if you don't move to the city that I want to live in, this relationship is over. Those are just 2 examples of common ultimatums. If we don't get married, if we don't move to where I want to live, we're done. Why do we give ultimatums? We give them because of fear and a lack of trust that our partner is going to care enough to do what we want, to marry us, to have kids with us. The distrust is often due to being betrayed or abandoned in the past. This behavior, it keeps coming up in our current relationships because we're not working on those past triggers. When we understand and work on our triggers, we have a better chance of recognizing when they come up and regulating our nervous system so that we can calm down. And then we can really get clear what's going on for us, and we can communicate calmly with our partner, especially with hot topics like these ultimatum topics. Why do ultimatums not work? They don't work because we're demanding what we want without explaining why it is important to us. Or maybe we're not checking in with our partner about the reason they're resisting our requests. This is all about communication skills. When we are clear about why we want what we want, we don't have to demand it. We just talk about it. So let's discuss what to do instead of issuing an ultimatum. The best way to get what you want in a relationship is to connect with compassion and empathy. Learn what gets triggered in your partner and in yourself when you ask to have your needs met. When there is a perceived threat, we are human. We're wired to protect ourselves. Our partner will naturally shut down or withdraw from us when we state our needs as a demand. We can't change our partner's mind, but we can attempt to influence them. And we do this by discussing why our request is so important to us. Then we check in with them about what's being triggered and why they're resisting. What's important to them? What need is not met of theirs? This is how we create empathy and closeness and more understanding. How do we turn an ultimatum into a compassionate conversation? So let's take the 2 examples I shared earlier. Number 1, if you don't propose, I'm going to break up with you, I'm going to leave. We can change that to, when you don't ask me to marry you after we've been together for 1.5 years or whatever time it is, I feel sad because I love you and I see a future with you. Tell me what's going on for you. Number 2, if you don't move to the city I want to live in, this relationship is over. We can change that to, I really want to live in this city because I'm craving the excitement of city life. When you refuse to move, I feel upset because I would like to figure out how to make us both happy. Can you help me brainstorm some ideas so we can figure out a solution? Changing an ultimatum to a clear and compassionate conversation is the key to staying close to your partner while you're trying to meet both of your needs. If your partner issues an ultimatum, number 1, notice what feeling their demand is triggering in you. So get clear on that. Number 2, let them know how you feel without criticizing them. And number 3, make a clear request for them to stop threatening you, or they're going to push you away, and tell them what they can do instead. Many good relationships end because the partners don't have these skills to use during conflict, so they issue ultimatums. If you have trouble with conflict resolution and you get triggered easily, or you make demands because you have this threat that the person's not going to listen to you, please seek support. Set up a session with me if you like, and let's talk about how coaching can help you, because I would love to help you go on your last first date without demands, without ultimatums, but with compassionate and kind communication. If you are ready to get unstuck, gain new tools, become more empowered, and finally find your last first date, I'd love to talk to you. Fill out an application to be considered for a complimentary half-hour love breakthrough session at lastfirstdate.com/application. That's lastfirstdate.com/application. I look forward to talking to you soon.